Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you are all doing well. So guys, I have some leaks and it's from Nvidia side. Basically, Nvidia RTX 50 series is coming closer to launch day by day. So the leaks are coming more frequently than ever, and now there is also such leak that Nvidia is using a faster memory on RTX 5080 GPU, which features fastest 32GB DDR7 memory. And if you talk more about the RTX 50, that is going to feature a GB203 GPU core equipped with 16GB of DDR7 memory and up to 32GB per second of speed. And if we compare it against 1590, it's 4GB per second speed faster than the 28 Gbps die that is featured on 1590. Also, 5080 is featured with up to 256-bit bus interface and feature 1 terabyte of total bandwidth, and this is going to be a major leap over the RTX 4080 series, which peaks out at 736 gigabyte per second of bandwidth through their 23 gigabyte per second of GDDR6X solution. But it should be noted that the 32 gigabyte speeds won't be featured across the entire lineup, and only the RTX 5080 would get it at first. That's as far as the leaks suggested. Now, if we talk about the Nvidia GeForce RTX 5080 specs, the GPU name is Blackwell GB 203-400, and the core is 10,752 plus 11% more than the RTX 4080, and the clock speeds are not confirmed and they needed to be decided. But if we add a 10% increase, so we can expect to be 2605 or same for 2620 for the 5090, but that's just suggesting and guess, rough guess. And the memory capacity, the 5080 come up with a 16GB DDR7, but now this time 32GB instead of 28 that is used in 5090, and the memory bus is 512 in 5090 and 256-bit in 5080. But some leaks are also suggesting that the memory speed will be 28 to 32. It's not confirmed whether it will be 28 or 32, but maybe some used 28 and some of the 5090 use 32, but it's confirmed for 5080 that they are going to use the 32GB variant. And if we compare it with the GeForce 4090, they did the same, 21GB for the 4090 but 23GB per second for 4080 cards. And if we see the bandwidth, they suggested that the 5090 will be from 1792 to 2048GB per second, whereas the GeForce RTX 5080 will be on 1024GB per second speed. And if you talk about the power, the 5090 will be using or utilizing up to 600 watt, and if we talk about the 5080, that is going to utilize a 40 or 400 watt power, and the power base will interference in 5090 will be 112 volt 2 times 16 or 16 pin, same for the 5080. Okay guys, next up for today is that Nvidia X MediaTek AI PC SoCs to debut by second quarter of the 2025, and that they will witness the integration by Lenovo, HP, Dell and ASUS. And rumors are surrounding a custom chip being made by MediaTek for the AI PC markets, and it's have been swirling for quite some time now. And the Nvidia inclination towards MediaTek in recent days, it was very evident that both firms were proceeding towards collaborating in the AI PC market, likely creating a new chip. But leakers on Weibo, mobile phone chip expert, has been claimed that Nvidia X MediaTek AI PC chips is expected to be released by the second half of the next year, 2025. And interestingly, the chip has already reached the tape out stage, and Nvidia has been setting itself a custom chip business. What better way there is than to capitalize on growing AI PC market, which has taken the industry by storm. On the other hand, Nvidia hands-on when it comes to bringing its graphical capability on the chip, and MediaTek, which is a renowned mobile chip maker, will see its first venture to the PC industry with this chip. But undoubtedly, this is going to be a competitive end product competing with the Snapdragon X Elite or Intel Lunar Lake. But the currently unaware of the specs, it is rumored that the chip will employ TSMC 3 nanometer based technology upon the ARM architecture, and Nvidia is likely going to feature its next gen iGPU on board. And Nvidia and MediaTek are cooperating the automotive segment as well, whereas MediaTek demonstrate to line up for the chips, and it won't be wrong to say that the partner of both firms has worked out quite well. So the leaks are also mentioning that the firm like Lenovo, Dell, HP, and Asus have shown interest in Nvidia's new project, and we can expect them to integrate the associate in their lineup immediately after the launch, and the consumer can finally have the option to opt out for the conventional vendors in the industry, which is why Nvidia and MediaTek has undoubtedly got so hyped up. Okay guys, next up for today is that Intel admits Core Ultra 9 285K will be slower than i9 4900K in gaming. As I shared the video yesterday, and I mentioned in my video that the new Intel counterpart Core Ultra 9, 5, 7 that are going to be released will be good in the single core but will perform very bad in multi-threaded or multitask. Why? Because they disable the multi-threaded counterpart of the chip. Intel admits their Core Ultra 9 285K will be slower for gamers, but it will need less power. However, Chinese outlets are leaking Intel's presentation of Core Ultra 200S series, and a comparison between Intel's One Core i9 4900K and the competing AMD Ryzen 9 series has been leaked. And the slide in this article are from Intel's upcoming Ultra 200 reveal event, which is scheduled to take place in 2 days. And it seems someone disregarded the embargo on these slides, and we now learn directly from Intel slides that the company acknowledges their 4900K is actually faster in gaming than the upcoming 285K. Compared to the 4900K, the 285K offers 261 average, while the 4900K achieves 264 average FPS. But the positive aspect is that the new architecture enables Intel to reduce power consumption to 447 watt presumably for the entire system. Leakers have also shared slides comparing the AMD Ryzen 9 9950X and 7950X 3D. The slide shows that while the 285K is expected to outperform the current fastest X3D part, which is 7950X 3D, in productivity benchmark, however, it will be up to 21% slower in games like Cyberpunk 2077. Another slide shows a comparison between the 285K and the 9950X. The 285K is reported to have an average performance advantage of 0.26% compared to the 9950X, assuming power means 0%. However, Intel has not yet shared any power consumption between the Ryzen 9 and the 285K, or at least it hasn't been leaked yet. But it's worth noting that Intel benchmark features APO application optimization, which is a special software that may contribute to higher Intel performance. Okay guys, next up today is some news from the game side, and the news is that Red Dead Redemption officially coming to PC on October 29 will support DLSS 3.7 and FSR 3.0. Red Dead Redemption on PC's leaks were true, and Rockstar Games have finally confirmed it. The Red Dead Redemption is coming to PCs on October 29. Red Dead Redemption was released in 2010 and it was never officially available on PCs, but this will change later this month. The action adventure game, which is already available on PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox, is now coming to PCs. The PC release is a collaboration with Double Eleven, and which has included a new features such as support for 4K and 144 Hz. The game will also support ultra wide and super ultra wide modes, 29:9 and 32:9. It will also have HDR10 support and will fully playable without controls. Rockstar Games confirmed that the game will support DLSS frame generation, DLSS 3.7 and AMD SFSR 3.0 without mentioning AMD frame generation. Gamers will have access to control the draw distance and shadow quality setting, it is claimed by the source, but the PC release will include the Undead Nightmare Zombie Horror campaign story. The game will launch on Steam, the Epic Store Games, and through the Rockstar Store, but the minimum specs including a GTX 960 incorrectly listed as RTX in some sources, or a Radeon R7 360, the recommended specs mention an RTX 2070 or RX 5700 XT.